what are you doing?
Well, last two shows we tried to get down here was raining. I just want to be prepared. You never know.
Let me see that. Not today.
Not today, man. I'll tell you. What a great day down here in Lowellville, Ohio, huh?
You know, we're on our third show in a row, and we're tired, but we had to get this in because it is nice out.
Yes, it's a beautiful night.
Yeah.
And the roads are packed down here. I'll tell you what.
This is one of our favorite shows. It's always packed, and you see a little bit of every type of car down here. So you can always count on Lowellville for being a good show. If you haven't been down to a Lowellville show, even in a while, they've redone the streets. It's so nice down here.
Yes, it is. I love the trains and the river. You know what I found out today? There's another train on the other side of the river too.
You know, I didn't know that either.
So we're taping today, and there was two trains behind us going at once.
Yeah, and we had to stop too because it was pretty noisy, but that's okay. So we're down here at Lowellville, and Rick, let's
go inside and check it out.
Let's do it.
With me, I have Don D'Onofrio, the coordinator of the car show here for the Business Center, right?
Yes, thank you.
How's it going?
It's going well. Glad to have you down.
Well, we finally made it, huh?
Yes, no more rain days, yes.
Gosh, the first two times, the 10th and the 17th, rain.
Right,
and then Greg was on vacation for a couple weeks, and those days were nice. And
yes.
Then all of a sudden we decided the other day, let's go down to Lowellville. It's going to be nice. We don't know how long this is going to hold on. So.
Very good, very good. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, we were going to do this a couple of years ago, and then the streets were getting all ripped apart.
We were doing new streets, new gas lines, water lines, new sidewalks. So just to keep it going, we moved over to Monte Carlo. They were nice enough to do that for us, and then we immediately came back down and just continue going. So
it looks so nice down here now. It's just so clean looking, and you got the trains over here, and then the river over there, and the cool cars and the cool people over there.
Yes,
really nice. And the sun today. Look at that.
Beautiful. Perfect day. Perfect day.
So how long does this show go, and when do you have it?
We go to about the second week of October. We have our Halloween car cruise. They decorate all the cars and decorate themselves. We pass out prizes and everything for that. And then we have a rain day, but usually by the third week of October we're done.
Okay.
So we run pretty much to the end of October.
And when do you start?
We usually start the first or second week of May, depending. So.
I'm not going to ask you, but you've been doing this quite a few years now.
Yeah,
how about
over
you?
a dozen.
How long have you been running this show now? I know you weren't the original guy.
Just the last few years. This was started by Al Smith, Don D'Onofrio, and Lee Martell was our DJ in association with the Business Association.
Right.
And then my father passed away, Lee passed away, Al decided to take some time off, and they asked me to do it, so I kind of fell into this role. So.
It's very nice. I love it. I love coming down here. And,
very enjoyable.
It's very nice. If you haven't been down to Lowellville, believe me, come down. 5 o'clock to what? About 8 o'clock?
5 to 8. Yep. We draw the 50-50 about 7:45, and right after all the cars start.
Come down here and chill a little bit next to the river and check out the trains and good food.
Yes.
You got it. Thanks, Don.
Very good.
Hey, I got Tim Leake with me from Liberty, Ohio, in his 1949 Chevy truck, 3100. 350 engine in it. Woohoo! This is really nice. Rat rod, huh?
Yep,
How
thank
long
you.
you owned it, Tim?
I actually bought it in January and had it shipped from Tennessee, and it was sort of a nightmare. And we spent, actually my buddy and my son spent the last 6 months putting it together, because I bought it sight unseen. I was going through cancer treatments, and the truck wasn't at all what it was described. And we've got about 200 hours of labor and probably another $2,500 just trying to straighten out all the stuff that was wrong. But
Yeah, you know what? I've learned my lesson. You got to go and see the vehicle. My last vehicle I bought, I looked perfect online. I talked to a couple salesmen. Oh, this and only a little scratch here, and it wasn't even close.
And that's
It was so
true,
bad.
and under normal circumstances, I wouldn't do that. I would go and look, but like I said, I was going through chemo and radiation, and I was really sick. My voice was gone from the radiation, and so I just took the guy at his word that it was a driver, and it was anything but a driver. So it literally, the next day after getting delivery, it was in my buddy's shop in Hubbard, blown apart, and it's been on jack stands until this week. We just finally got to drive it on Saturday for the first time.
Looks
so.
good. You're one of the crew from the Rust Belt Revival.
Yes, sir. Roadhounds Car Club that put on the Rust Belt Revival at B&O Station in Youngstown.
We
Yep.
did that last year. That is so cool. You know, that was just, you get so many different. I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting a lot of rat rods and stuff like that, but you get a lot of nice stuff down there. You know.
A lot of guys come to our show that don't do a lot of the local cruises, because to be honest with you, you go to these local cruises, it seems like it's the same cars and everything. A lot of guys come from Akron, Canton, Pittsburgh that have some really old school customs and gassers, and we opened up the years against our better judgment. We wanted to keep it 72 and older, but we have a lot of friends that have like square body C10 trucks that are top of the line killer trucks. And so we opened up the year cut off to like 85 to include the square body trucks and things like that. And we get a wide variety, and it's really a great show, a great atmosphere down there. The setting at the B&O and everything, it's pretty cool. It's we're almost to the point where we outgrown it.
Yeah.
You know.
And when do you do that show?
That's
Undercarriage. What do you got here?
the whole truck sits on a 94 S10 chassis. The motor.
Front end and everything. It's
Yep,
just,
the entire
everything's
truck is-
S10.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rear end, we swapped the rear end because the stock two-wheel drive rear ends are too narrow. So we swapped the rear end in it. But otherwise, it's all stock S10 chassis. The motor and transmission are a 1990 small block automatic out of like a 90 Chevy
So
pickup
it's
truck.
comfortable to drive then, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's got power steering, disc brakes. You can drive
great,
it like you're
great.
driving a 94 S10. It just looks a lot cooler.
Right.
So and we've redone everything. Wiring, gauges, steering, glass, everything's been redone. From
These
when
things,
I
they
bought
don't
it.
look like they cost a lot, but there's a lot of money in this thing, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm way deep in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So-
People look at that junk, but hey, you don't know what's underneath that thing and what they've done to it. There's big bucks in a lot of these rat rods.
Oh yeah, it's got. I mean, the exhaust is brand new. All the brake lines, fuel, everything is brand new underneath this truck.
With me, I have Bill Devine from Boardman, Ohio, with a 72 Monte Carlo.
Right.
Original owner.
Original owner, I bought it brand new.
Wow. What made you want to buy this car?
Just the way they looked, okay? They were so cool in the day, and it was $3,300 brand new.
That's it.
That's it.
$3,300.
It's amazing.
Did you get anything special on it?
Just I got what they call the handling package.
What's that consist of?
That's the Corvette shocks, springs, sway bars front and rear, the gauge package with the tack and the gauges and everything.
But they wouldn't give you the big engine.
They
though.
wouldn't give me the big,
Tell me about that.
I ordered the SS 454 4-speed, but then they wouldn't build it. So they called and said, well, you can have the car, but this is how you're going to get the car. I said, well, I like it. I'll just take it,
Was there any more money involved or any less money?
Nope. It was actually a little bit less money is what happened.
So you ended up with what, a 402?
They ended up with a big block anyway. I was really surprised.
Let's check it out. Let's see what you got under here. That's what, a truck engine, right?
Yes.
That's a truck engine.
They went to 396. They moved it up to 402, and then they put them in the trucks. because it's got a lot of torque, okay? Very strong.
Yeah, this car's really nice. I was checking it out. Everything on it's nice. The chrome, you see guys do cars and they just skimp on certain things, But man, everything is nice on it. All the chrome, all the rubber on it and everything.
No bad spots.
No, I see that.
I even left these things in there.
Yeah, nice job. So this is a 402. How many horse you pushing?
This is about 407, really.
407. Yeah, it's 327. That was from the factory, though.
Yeah.
And then you did what to it?
We put the headers on. That added 57 horsepower.
Just what headers? 57.
Yeah. And then changing the air cleaner where it breathes better. That was almost 20 horsepower.
Wow.
So let's put it right over 400, okay?
This isn't a light car either, is it?
4,400 pounds.
Yo, that's more than my T-Bird. My T-Bird's about 43, 44, around there.
It's a tank.
I remember, it brings back memories with this car for me. My buddy, when we got out of high school, I graduated high school 71, and we went to California in 72. He just bought a brand new Monte Carlo, just like this, but red. The red with black interior, black vinyl, looked just like this. Okay, and we drove it out to California.
Nice.
Yeah, it didn't have the big block engine in it, though. I think it had a 350 in it.
Yeah, they had 350s is what they had.
But we just cruised out, no air conditioning.
No.
We're out in the middle of the desert, it's 120 degrees.
Yeah. Well, if you recall, nobody wanted air conditioning, though. You wanted power. You didn't want air conditioning.
Yeah, that's the way it was back then.
Yeah.
But if you find one nowadays that comes stock with air conditioning, that's a big plus.
There's a big plus, yes.
Especially in convertibles, they didn't want air conditioning.
No.
And what do you want an air conditioner for when you got a convertible?
Yeah. And it's too much fun. I don't even miss the air, really.
Mm-hmm. Good.
It's a fun car to drive.
You come down here often?
Every Monday.
Every Monday.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Good. Glad we hooked up with you. I hooked up with Bill down in, where did we hook up at? Down at the Super Nats.
Super Nats in Salem, yes.
Salem, yeah. And I fell in love with your car.
Yeah.
I was judging down there with a few of my friends, and I come across this car and go, wow, look at this thing. It's a beauty.
Yeah, then I walked by when you were looking at it, and we started talking, and
we talked for about 15, 20 minutes.
yeah, we did, as a matter of fact, yes.
Remember this baby at the Master Pietro winery over there in Berlin Center? This was Rick's pick, owned by Rick Lamb. This is that 71 Plymouth GTX. What a beauty, what a beauty. With me I have Jim Yurkovich. Where are you from, Jim?
Canfield, Ohio.
Canfield, Ohio.
Yeah.
You remember this mug? We've had him on a couple times before. The last time we had him on was at the Master Pietro winery.
Yes.
With the 58 T-Bird.
T-Bird convertible,
Yeah, that
yes.
was really nice.
That's another rare car, yeah. We
Still have that?
Still have it, yeah. Oh, yeah, still doing some improvements on it.
There's always improvements on those
on the
T-Birds.
cars, on all of them, matter of fact, yeah. And then Yeah, and a while back, I think the first show we did my '67 Chevelle Malibu out Quaker City drag strip. So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
so
That was a
yeah,
while
been
ago.
around. That's
That was a
about
while ago.
11, 12 years ago. So yeah, it's been around.
We didn't
yeah.
break our camera yet.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, so it's wearing it out though,
We're
probably.
wearing it
Yeah,
out.
so,
Hey,
no.
Tim, what do we got here today? A 70 Olds Cutlass Supreme.
Convertible.
This-
Yes.
this thing's sweet.
Yes. It's probably one of one. It's an odd one. It's a rare. It's odd because it's 3-speed on the column, and in the 7 years it took me to restore it, I haven't found any others like it. I found a lot with the 3-speed on the floor. That was a little bit more common, but it being on the column is unusual because this was their flagship car back in the 70s. You know, the Supremes and the 442s. You know, I've always been sold an Oldsmobile. I've had Olds, you know, quite a few of them, and I like them. I like something different, and this is really different. I found it. We found it up in Flint, Michigan, is where it came from, and I believe the original owner worked at the Lansing factory, and I think he ordered this way, retired. The first year he drove it, he put 26,000 miles on it.
Yikes.
I got some repair orders that I found in the glove compartment, along with the protective plate and all that, and it had a little trailer hitch on the back of it too. And he drove it. He drove it for like the first 2 years. He put a lot of miles, probably about 30-some thousand miles on it in the first 2 years.
Did you crack the engine yet?
No.
No,
All I did was a timing chain, resealed it. I rebuilt the carburetor on it, new valve seals. But no, I did with a bore scope. I looked down the cylinders and all. They looked good. Didn't burn oil, and still don't burn oil.
What made you want to get this?
We had a 70 hardtop. And we loved it. It's just a nice ride from the Oldsmobile. And and my wife goes, you know, we got the Chevelle, we cruise in the Chevelle. She really liked the Olds. I said, well, why don't we get an Olds convertible? Because I had a convertible when I was a kid and all. And how I found this car is really odd because my brother, my late brother, I'd say, he found my Chevelle up in Michigan for me. He became ill some years ago, okay? Convalescent, you know, in a vegetated state. He went through an operation and he bled out.
That's tough. That's tough.
It was like a drowning victim. So he's laid up in bed for 7 years. But anyways, we went to, the wife and I, it was a Martin Luther King Day. We had off. I said, let's go see Joey up at he was in a convalescent home. But the day before that, we were talking about an Olds. So I went online. And the first website I come to was AutoBuy website, and I put 70 Cutlass Supreme convertible in it, and it comes up Goodrich, Michigan. I said, boy, I don't know where that's
too
at.
far.
No, I said we're going to Michigan tomorrow. I wonder where it's at. 10 miles from where my brother's laying in bed.
Oh, yeah, it's right there, right next
Talk
door.
about fate. There's a person that can't talk or anything. Talk about fate. And I think our loved ones are always with us.
Yeah,
And I think, like I said, he was part of this, finding this car too. So all this in consideration and being at 3-speed on the column, I says, it's got to be 101. And that's what I'm going at until I'm proven wrong.
You're watching Street Scene in Lowellville, Ohio.
I'm looking at this thing. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, but there's a lot of work on this.
Well, there's
it's
nothing,
real subtle though.
There's nothing Mercury on it but the shell, basically.
I come in about an hour ago and it just stopped me cold.
My wife said paint it any color you want as long as it's blue. So that's...
Up next, we have some great information from the Ohio State Patrol on tech tips. Let's talk about frames and suspensions. Is there a legal height or how close they can go to the road?
There's a minimum. It's got to be 4.5 inches off the ground. Ohio does have a bumper height law. That law is guided by the weight of the vehicle. So let's say a passenger car, for example, 22 inches is where the bumper has to be maximum bumper height on that. And then again, I'd have to look at the specific wording of the law, but it's based on the vehicle's weight. up to like 10,000 pounds, I believe the bumper could be 31 inches off the ground.
How about some of these trucks you see that are like, you need a stepladder to get in them?
Yeah, typically when it goes over, from my understanding, that once you exceed that 10,000 pound weight, then it doesn't apply.
Okay.
But very rarely, I mean, you do occasionally see somebody, you know, you can't, but part of that law is you can't expose the fuel tank from a collision. So if you have a fuel tank in the back of that car that's, you know, if somebody was to rear end you, then that's a violation. So you'd have to have some sort of bumper in place to prevent that from happening.
Okay. A lot of these modern cars now, a lot of them have nice sound systems and they're loud as heck, you know. And Ohio has laws and ordinances in place to control sound levels that are permissible for vehicles. Or like mufflers required on all vehicles?
Yep, every vehicle that's operating in Ohio has to have a working muffler and exhaust system.
Okay. Everyone?
Everyone. You can't have open headers unless it was manufactured from the factory without one, but I haven't seen too many cars that, you know, I think everything has, you know, always had a muffler.
How about those muffler bypasses and cutout and amplifying devices?
Can't have those either.
You can't have those?
No.
Because some of them are electronic and just
Discreetly,
yeah.
do it, but no. And as far as the sound goes, if you read your Ohio Revised Code, it does give the counties and township governments the right to enact laws that they can have, what I want to say, sound levels measured by decibels. As far as us, we enforce the Ohio Revised Code, but doesn't give us the authority to cite somebody. We don't have decibel meters in a car where we can say, hey, this vehicle going 35 miles an hour is exceeding that. We don't have that capability.
Okay.
And I really don't know of a township or a county that does enforce, you know, locally here, that does enforce sound. Well, we'll get involved in a sound issue is when you see somebody, like you said, it doesn't have a muffler, they're running open headers, the car is extremely loud, you might see them dragging their exhaust system, and you know, over the years I'm sure everybody's seen somebody with a muffler and a spark shooting out, you know, and it's super loud. That's whenever, you know, we get involved. You know, it's a safety issue, it's could be a public nuisance, so that's when, you know, they could be cited.
How about the audio sound systems? What is permissible?
The Ohio Revised Code, we don't enforce that. Now, some cities, for example, Youngstown, they do have a city ordinance that you know, prevents somebody from blaring a stereo system. And I don't know the full details of that law, but I believe you know, it's measured by feet. You know, if they're so many feet away from that car, an officer, and they can hear it clearly, then that would be a violation of that city ordinance. But as far as the state patrol enforcing sound ordinances, we don't do that.
From Newcastle, Pennsylvania, you got Ron Micheletti with his 41 Mercury Coupe.
Mercury Coupe.
This is a sweetie.
Thank
this
you.
thing is really nice. How long you owned it?
About 3 years.
It's a 41.
It's a 41.
Four-seater.
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking at this thing going, what? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, but there's a lot of work on
Well,
this.
there's
it's
nothing
real subtle though.
There's nothing Mercury on it but the shell, basically. It's got a 350 crate engine in it. You can see all the chrome and aluminum under the hood. Everything's been shaved. There's vintage air and Coker tires, and bumpers are taken off. Just a cruiser.
It's a cruiser. All right. You can take this thing from what? Here to California, no problem.
I hope so.
350.
I'm not going to take it that far, but but it would.
With an engine like that,
Yes.
built the way it is, this is nice. This is beautiful. White interior.
Yeah.
What a beauty.
Got a Mustang 2 front end and the C4 Corvette rear suspension. Disc brakes all the way around.
Lowered and everything.
Yeah, because of the suspension, it's a little bit different than the stock.
How about the pipes? They open?
The pipes, the side pipes are just there for the looks.
Okay.
It dumps underneath.
Okay.
And it had real loud mufflers on it when I first had it, and it was too loud to enjoy yourself for a ride.
I know.
So I had them. Yes.
The older I get, I don't like the loudness.
So I had to
that
quiet
much
it down. I couldn't even hear the radio.
No,
so.
that's good when you're a young kid.
Yeah.
Not anymore when you get older. I understand that, believe me. I hate to say that, but but this is a sweetie. I'll tell you. So show me some of the body stuff they did to it.
Well,
These are what, 2-piece, right?
well, yeah, the back here, two pieces is all,
Rear
it's all
fender.
built in back here.
And that's where they had that gasket in there, right?
And everything, of course, it did have chrome trim on here. That's been taken off. Everything been shaved. The door handle is shaved off. The trunk area is shaved off. I'm still in the process of putting poppers in. So you put up, you hit your key fob and the door pops open.
Oh, okay.
So right now I got to leave the window down, but that'll be taken care of shortly.
That's a problem if your battery goes dead. Your bumper's dead.
So everything
Okay.
underneath.
Different tail lights.
Yes.
Eliminated the bumpers. You got you got the little bumper.
Yeah,
on it.
those are actually bumperettes from Mustang too. From a Mustang.
Is there any regulations in PA, like you're from PA, Newcastle, of course, that what you can have on a hot rod and what you can't have on a hot rod?
Well, you can do about what you want anymore, but I mean, it still has to pass inspection. You still have to have windshield wipers and, the basic things. But it used to be you couldn't do a lot of that stuff, but now they're letting the street rods get away with a little bit more.
A little bit more. I remember before you couldn't do anything with them, and now that's good. So you get this inspected?
No, well, I have antique plates.
Yeah, me too. That's what I was wondering. Yeah. There's so many different types of plates you can get too.
Yeah.
Street rod plates, antique plates,
Right.
Just everything, and historical plates.
Hysterical, yeah.
Hysterical, yeah. I'm having a hard time tonight talking. This is our third show in a row, so I'm beaten down in the sun here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to complain.
We had a lot of rain, so we're finally getting out to some shows.
What color is this?
It's a Hugger Orange.
Oh, okay. This is Dodge color. Was it this color when you got it?
Yeah, well, no, it was a little bit darker. It was repainted again. It smoothed everything out and lightened it up.
Who did it for you? Looks nice.
Well, the guy that I bought it from actually did the second paint job on it. And I put the rear end in it. I put the crate engine in it. The other engine was losing compression a little bit. So we had the engine crate engine painted. It almost matches this perfectly.
From Newcastle, Pennsylvania, you've got Frank McIntyre in his 1968
Buick GS.
GS, Grand Sport.
Grand Sport convertible.
Nice.
Yes.
How long have you owned this one?
I've had this since 1987. I didn't get it finished till August of 07, and we've been driving it ever since.
Mm-hmm. She's not stock, right?
Well, the engine's got a few modifications, but basically it's original 4-speed car, and it's got a highway gear in it, and take you anywhere you want to go.
Right. Got a nice driver here.
Oh yes,
It's a beauty.
very nice.
It's not the stock color, right?
No, it's a GM color, but my wife said paint it any color you want as long as it's blue. So that's what I did,
That's good. The black top on it, right?
Black top I didn't want to clean a white top, so I put a black one on it.
All right. This is nice. This is very nice. So what are you sporting under the hood there?
I've got a almost 462, and it's got a mild cam in it, headers, quadrajet carburetor. It just a driver.
What did this car come with?
A 400 big block, 4-speed. Yeah.
70. That's a 70.
It's a 70 motor. Yes, I had it. I bought it off a man, and it runs perfect when he had it, and it runs perfect now that I have it.
Good. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, driving and you know, listen to the tunes.
Yeah. How about those hubcaps? You don't see those too
Those
often.
original dog dish hubcaps that were made for this car, and I built it for the looks.
Did you have any trouble finding them?
I had a couple sets.
Okay.
I did get one from a person, but
Those things could be quite expensive right now. Huh?
yes. When I was first started playing, they were probably $25 a piece. Now I think they're about up around $80 a piece.
Okay, that's still that's not too
It's
bad,
not too
but yeah.
but you know,
I was thinking more than that. But,
yeah. So it's not bad.
But what a nice car. This is a beauty. I ran into you down here about a month or so ago, and we were talking. I said, when we come down and record the show, I'm going to get you on. And I really like the car. It's a beauty.
Appreciate that very much.
From Poland, Ohio, we have Howie Ashton with his 51 Cadillac stock caddy, right?
Well, it's not stock. No, it's far from stock. That's for sure.
What a beauty. Tell me about this thing. It's just, I come in about an hour ago and it just stopped me cold.
Well, we bought it in Columbus, Ohio, and brought it home and customized it. We cut the roof off it.
That's part of being down in Lowellville. The trains keep coming by.
Yeah,
Yep.
they keep going by. Here comes another one the other way.
Caddy?
Yeah,
No,
we
it's a
did it in
51.
it's Sunset Pole, and we chopped it 3 inches. The top lifts off. We did a caddy interior that put the power bucket seats, and I built the console for it.
What your caddy interior is at?
It's out of an Eldorado, probably about a 76 Eldorado. And then we did the interior in white pearl.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Who did that for you?
TNT over in Warren, Ohio did it, and Jimmy did the roof and the interior. Did a gorgeous job.
That roof comes off, so this
lifts
is
off.
be a convertible.
Oh yeah. When the roof's off, it's you can't tell it from a real convertible. And then we put the Continental, and I put the caddy wire wheels on it, put the lake pipes on it. Put all new chrome. Did all the chrome.
It's a beauty. My God, it's a beauty.
Thank you.
Can I take it home with me tonight?
Yeah, you can take it home. It's for sale.
Oh, okay. So what size engine we sporting in there?
It's got a 331 Caddy with a 4-speed transmission in it. Car hits the road beautiful, runs 70 on the highway nice.
that stock engine?
Stock engine, it's redone, yeah.
Oh, you did a nice job. And just some of the touches you put on here, like these mirrors and everything. Where'd you find something like that? Never seen.
Yeah, those mirrors are probably worth about $600 a piece.
Get out.
Oh yeah, you can't find that mirror anywhere.
What's it from?
They're actually custom mirrors from the 50s, and I bought 2 sets when I bought them, and then I put the Appleton spotlights on it.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Yeah. Then we shaved some of the chrome off it.
Did they have fender skirts on it when you got it?
Well, they did, but I extended them skirts. They were cut out, and when we did it, we put about another 1.5 inches in the skirt, so it kind of almost goes straight across. Gives it a little lower look, you know. We were trying to get it as low as we could, and that's where it drives right there. It doesn't have no air ride. That's where it hits the road.
How much did you lower it?
Probably about 6 inches from stock height. Yeah.
Is that stock suspension and everything on here?
Yeah.
Springs and everything.
Yeah. Well, we redid the springs on it when we lowered it and put some blocks in the back, but it rides beautiful. It really does.
It's a beauty, Larry. It's a beauty. And of course, the final touches on here, the pinstriping.
Yeah, Guy Shiverty did an awesome job. He's done probably about 30 cars of mine, and he's the best around, I think.
You know what? I think that's the younger kids aren't into that too much anymore. You know that?
Yeah. Well, it all depends. When you look at 50s cars, and I've been building cars since I was a kid, and we like pinstripes. Yeah.
I like them too.
Yeah.
It really adds to the car.
And when these guys are building these rat rods, they're all putting pinstripes all over them.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah. So that's when you look today.
They're into all the blacking stuff and all that, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to see the kids getting involved in it, you know what I mean? Because guys like us, I've been doing custom cars my whole life, and, I think we're fading out.
Yeah, we sure are.
But when you look at that, it's hard to fade out, right?
Down here in Lowellville this evening, what a great night. Beautiful, huh?
We finally got one in.
Yes,
After being rained out twice. We planned it last year as a kind of a backup show. We didn't get to it. June, we got rained out, and we said, to heck with it, we came down anyway. So
We're melting today, it's so hot.
I think we're worn out after the 3-day marathon we've been on.
Yeah.
So, but what a great show. It's always a great show in Louisville.
Yeah.
So come on down if you haven't been down on Monday nights during the summer. They always throw on a great show right downtown.
It's remodeled down there. New streets, new sidewalks, new everything. It's really cool down there.
It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful place for a
Monday
show.
nights from 5 to 8 down here in Lowellville, Ohio. Down at the bottom of the hill. You come in from PA, it's at the bottom of the hill.
Well, I'm Greg Roten.
I'm Rick Guerrera.
We'll see you down the road.
He's like 62, and he goes, "Hey, I'm middle-aged." I said, "How long do you think you're going to live? To 122, 124? He goes, "No." I said, "Well, yeah, that's middle-aged."
Well, here's my logic. first 20 years of your life, you're pretty much useless to society, to humankind, to anything. You accomplished nothing. So I'm 76. Take that off. That's 56 years. Okay, so and half of that, so 25 years on to the 20 or 25 that you're useless. That puts me at middle age.